Hey there, welcome back to our Say What series. Now, one of the concepts that brings up a lot of questions in all of us is the idea of suffering. And one of the questions most of us ask, especially when we're in the middle of our suffering, is the question of where is God? Where is God in my suffering? Where is God at a time like this? Where is God? You know, is he distant? Is he far off? Has he left me? And the answer is no. See, Jesus, Scripture tells us that Jesus, who was and is eternally God, chose to step out of heaven and take on humanity and experience suffering. Say, what? That's right, he chose suffering. Isaiah, the prophet, tells us in Isaiah 53 that Jesus was a man of suffering and he was familiar with pain. Now, why would Jesus choose suffering? See, most of us, we would say if I were God and I had all the power of the universe at my disposal, I would make sure that suffering and pain were far from me. But God is not like how we would be God if we were God. He's way better. See, Jesus chose suffering for us. It was on our behalf because he loves us. The prophet Isaiah would continue in Isaiah 53 and he'd say that Jesus was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. And the punishment that brought us peace was on him. And get this, by his wounds we are healed. Say, what? That's right, by his wounds we are healed. Jesus suffered on our behalf for us. It was his suffering that brought healing for us, healing from sin and the death and the suffering and the pain that sin produces. So I don't know what kind of suffering you're facing this season, and maybe you're really struggling with the darkness of your own suffering, and you're asking that question, God, where are you? God, what are you doing? Have you left me and abandoned me? Would you remember what Jesus has done? That he experienced suffering, that he experienced frailty and weakness and pain and even death because he loves you. This Easter season, as we get close to Good Friday and we remember what Jesus did in suffering on the cross for our behalf, above all, would you be flooded not just with the knowledge that Jesus understands your suffering, but would you be flooded with the realization that he suffered for you and that by his wounds, you are healed. We'll see you next time.